Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome back to Desynced. In this sponsored video I'm going to take you on a ride and show you all the new features on the 1.1 update. As you might know, Desynced is currently in early access, and this means that the game is being worked on a lot. Coming out on November 16th, the 1.1 version of the game adds a lot of exploration. The game is currently 20% off on Steam, so if you haven't grabbed it yet, be sure to do so, link down below in the description. In this video, we're going to have a look at some of the new features. What can you expect? How is it going to impact the gameplay? And what new and exciting things are there for you to explore? Because that's the theme of this update, exploration. It's their first big milestone and it's part of the early access roadmap. One of the new features you can already see back here in the background, seasons. Seasons mean that sometimes the plateaus, as you can see here, they get snow. Snow is going to slow you down. The plateaus is where the bugs live. So this is a pretty bad combination because it means your bots are going to be far slower up there. Your solar panels will also be affected as they don't generate as much energy as you might like. As you might know, one of the key resources in Desynced is Silica Sand. The problem is, you can really only find this up on the plateaus, and that is where the bugs live. Now, this means it's going to be a dangerous enterprise, and you might not be able to go up there early game. Because the enemy will fight back, and unless you have a pretty organized setup with a decent amount of bots, it's going to be dangerous getting up there. Thankfully, they've now added a second option. This is a silica tree. You can find these scattered all over the map, and generally they will give you a bit of silica sand. This means you don't have to go up on the plateaus, you'll be able to get this with just a couple of miners, and this is going to at least, well, slowly start you up with the production of silica and silicon. So be sure to look out for these trees. They're not just there as nice new things to look at. I mean, the game is still really pretty. They're not just there to look at, just be sure to mine them. And you might even, at some point, find a really big one. And when I say a really big one, I mean a really big one. This is a super silicon tree, which immediately brings me to the missions. The game now has a couple of things that you can explore. It is the exploration update after all. So there's going to be missions, and you can find them over here on the bottom right-hand side if you have found one. As you can see over here, that is a big tree. With this, I have part 1 of 2, and I can now see that I need to destroy the giant tree. I haven't done that yet, nor will I show it to you on the video, because this is for you. Go ahead, see what comes out, or what you get when you take down the tree. The tree is not the only new thing that they have added. There are a bunch of new explorables. The exploration updates add buildings that you can explore, figuring out what is behind all of these mysterious buildings. Getting them might mean that you have to clear out some bugs here and there, so beware. These things do come with a price, but they make the game a whole lot more interesting. It's no longer just resource gathering and base building. It is now also exploring, figuring out what these things need in order to actually get them explored. Some of them need tech, some of them need a couple of resources. It's up to you to figure out how you can get these old research labs and power plants and factories and warehouses working. And exactly what they will yield is not something I want to spoil for you. Much like the tree, you'll have to find out all by yourself. Some of the new features you can find right in the main menu. If you go to New Game and hit Custom, one of the first things you'll stumble across is Peaceful Mode. If you don't like fighting, you can set this to None. This means no bugs will spawn. Now, this is going to allow you to focus very much on base building and means that you don't have to do any fighting. No building of turrets, no building of shield generators. Life is peaceful. However, it does mean that some of the resources that only drop from the bugs are not going to be present in your game. So be wary of this fact, as it means that you'll not be able to research some of the tech trees. Another setting you can change is resource richness. This is going to go all the way up to infinite rich. Now, infinite rich means you can focus completely on base building. You'll be able to build to your heart's content. in this new save I have infinite metal ore, I have infinite crystal chunks, I even have an infinite laterite ore, and I also have some infinite blight chunk crystals. So over here, I basically got everything I need. And I have some nice open terrain. Tandem this with turning off the hostiles, and you can go absolutely nuts. You can start building, you can explore at your leisure, and the game highly recommends you to do so. Because this is the exploration update after all. It's just that it's going to be a little easier. You don't have to constantly move to get new resources. As you're exploring in the world, you might come across some of the buildings that need you to solve puzzles. The minigames, as they're called. Now, these sometimes require you to fix a puzzle and then bring over resources. I don't mind looking for the buildings. I don't mind bringing over the resources, but I do not like the puzzles. And thankfully, they now added a minigame disable button. So with this, you will not have any of the minigames, you'll not have to do any of the puzzles. You can focus on building, you can focus on exploring, you can focus on optimizing your base and shipping the resources to the buildings that need them. Including, of course, those explorables, but you won't have to do the puzzle. So click this, minigames disabled, if you, like me, don't like the puzzle part. Another one of the new features you can immediately see when you're starting a new game. Sometimes your optimizing is a little lacking. Sometimes you might have bots running around that are actually not doing a whole lot. In this case, I have a lot of them. And this new button, next to idle unit, immediately allows you to jump to whatever unit happens to not have a job. So you can figure out, okay, why is this engineer not working? Why is this guy not being emptied? What is wrong with my logistics? Something as simple as a button like this, it's really handy. It reminds me of Age of Empires, where you could just click on go to next idle worker and make sure that everybody has something to do. Because this is all about efficiency. Now, something about the bugs. You can see over here that these bug hives are placed suspiciously close together. This is new in the 1.1 update. The bugs now spawn in clusters, and this is going to make it feel like you're attacking a base. Much less than, well, there's a bug here, and there's another hive over there, and there's another hive over there. You're going to have to attack in a larger group, or you might find that you simply get overwhelmed. So, be prepared to take on, let's say, bug hive bases right about now, as opposed to just scattered formations here and there. This is going to make the attack a lot more complicated. As you're exploring a new game and the map at large, you might find some new flowers in the way. This is not friendly Flora. The power flower, as you might believe, generates power. No, alas, it does not. This poor dashbot is going to have a run-in with it. You can see there's a whole bunch of lightning going off around it because this power flower drains your bots. Now, they are a bit annoying. Be sure to keep an eye on where their positions are. And if you find that you really don't want to have to deal with these things, bring over something with a turret. Because something with a turret with only a few attacks can take out the power flower. The power flower then does drop a new consumable. This is going to allow you to do some more research. I won't spoil exactly what that's going to be, but what you will get is a power petal, which is a high-tech material. There's also another one, and you can find that over here. The phase flower. Now, the phase flower does not attack you, thankfully, it's not all bad, but boom, I just got beamed over to the other side of the phase flower. So it's like a zone out ability. Almost like an AoE suppressor. You cannot get right next to the phase flower. Which means that if this thing is close to something that you want to pick up, well, you'll first have to get rid of it. Because right now, I just can't get there. Can you attack these? Yes, you can. And once you have... Poor dashbot. Once you have, you'll be able to pick up their resources as well. Now, we've had this thing over here, the power flower, drop one resource. This is going to drop another resource, the phase leaf. Again, I'll leave you to discover, as your own part of the exploration, what that is going to be used for. As you can see from all these updates, the game is constantly being worked on. If you want to maintain the cutting edge version, so not just the overall update as you see it right now, but all the new updates as they're bringing them out and involving the community in further development, you can go to Steam, right-click Desynced and go to Properties, go to Betas, and hit the experimental branch under beta participation. This way, you'll be able to get the latest version. Beware, it might come with bugs, and not the ones that you actually shoot in the game. It comes with things that might break saves, it comes with things that might make your game a heck of a lot easier. It depends on what they're bringing out, and on your feedback. So, be sure to check out the experimental branch, be sure to check out the whole update, and get the game if you haven't already, as it's currently 20% off. Use the link down below in the description. Really big thank you to the guys over at Desynced for sponsoring this video, and I hope you guys will enjoy all the new features. Let me know down below in the comments what your thoughts are, and I'll see you soon for more videos.